if we start first of all with the season tickets, obviously we're now up to 250 season tickets sold already, which is a pretty solid start. And I know when we spoke to Paul the other day, he was pretty chuffed with that as well. So I guess a big thank you to all the fans for getting in early and kind of committing for the season.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And we're not even a week into sales as of yet. I know you had fun and games on Friday and manually ended up trying to utilize the system to get the emails out, the renewal emails out. So Jamie Griffiths, thank you very much for your hard work on Friday. And there's nothing better to do on a Friday, I'm sure, but there we go. But yeah, thanks for that, Jay. Yeah, no, really, really pleasing first week. To be past 250 already is just fantastic. And obviously everybody knows that the income from season tickets is absolutely vital. But equally, I think it shows, it's a demonstration of the support that we have, which we all know about. I think it's a demonstration to Paul of the interest there is, and that, you know, the potential is there, and he's really pleased to see those figures. And the more and more that we sell, obviously, you know, more that we get towards being able to then give him extra assistance with the playing budget. So yeah, no, all in all, a really, really brilliant start. And thank you to everybody who's purchased so far. And obviously, if you are able to purchase, please do so, because it's a huge help to the club.
Obviously, the early bird runs until the first week in June, so there's another payday yet as well. So I guess we'll have a little bit of a rush there where people can afford to kind of commit there. So hopefully there'll be an ongoing kind of nice little run of sales.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, everyone at the club is respectful of the challenges that are facing people. And as you say, you know, the payday at the end of the month, many people may be waiting for that. People, you know, there's a few people who've already taken advantage of the instalment plan, which is really good. So it's good that people are making use of that if that's of help to them. But yeah, no, it's just, yeah, it's a really exciting time, I think. Hopefully over the next week or so, couple of weeks, we'll be able to announce some signings as well, which obviously will hopefully stimulate a little bit more interest. I know Paul's on the case, busily trying to get some deals over the line, which is really exciting. But no, yeah, no, it's absolutely fantastic. And obviously we do the sales out of the club face to face and over the phone on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday. You keep reminding me of that so I don't say the wrong thing, because if people call on a Tuesday or a Thursday, they won't be able to get the season tickets. So if people can just stick to the Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, when the plan's in place and the staffing is in place to make sure we get it sorted, then that would be fantastic. But obviously everybody's got the option of doing it online. But I know people are a bit old school as well, and I know that feeling, so that's exactly right.
I think it's we're not being awkward when we say we won't do it on a Tuesday and Thursday, but Thursday the office is closed, and Tuesday the people who know the system best aren't in the office. So yeah, we're not being awkward by it. We're just obviously staffing and volunteers as well. John Sadler, terrific volunteer, but he can't be here as much as we'd love him to 24/7. He has a life outside of Hereford FC as well, sadly, but yeah. So no, we do appreciate it when people do phone at the right times. Makes it a lot easier for everyone, really. But yeah, just you were saying about Paul, and obviously me and you went in his office the other day. With regards to signings, it was very comforting to see a load of names on that whiteboard that are kind of his plans. It kind of calmed me down a bit, I think.
Yeah, no, I've had to try very hard not to release the inner child football fan when I saw a list of names on that board, and sort of set up in a bit of a formation and people he's been speaking to, who he's looking at, who he'd like to bring in. And yeah, it was a really impressive list, really exciting list, actually. Names on there that I knew, names on there that I hadn't got the faintest idea who they were, and then got to speak to him a little bit about what his thinking was, and, you know, the building process. And I could just tell from talking to him that he's really enjoying the challenge of going about this process of building a squad. He's obviously got a fairly blank canvas in terms of putting together his own squad, but he's clearly really enjoying it. I think he's been desperate to do this for quite some time, and now he's getting to do it for real. I think he's getting a real buzz out of it, and he's been making a lot of phone calls. I know he's had meetings, face-to-face meetings with various people this week, which is really interesting. And it was really nice to see him at the club. And as he said, this is my place of work and I want to be here. So it was really good to see him sat in the office, busily working away. The other day we had quite a good chat. We, as fans ourselves, we do have to contain ourselves a little bit and reduce our interrogation, don't we? Because we've got to try and at least remain a little bit professional. But no, it's really exciting, because we all love the football, don't we? So get into that stage where you can see what he's working on is really good.
obviously he had the fans forum as well the other week, and it's been really nice to have fans coming up straight after the fans forum, but also like in town and places, just saying that they really appreciated him and what he was saying, and he came across really well. And I think the fans are kind of, maybe the 250 season ticket sales are somewhat down to them kind of buying into the idea that Paul Caddis has kind of brought to the fans forum.
Yeah, what I really like about him, he does, he has got a genuine understanding of the need to communicate with supporters and keep people in the loop. He's not falsely looking to do it. He realises how important supporters are at any football club, and he wants to try and keep people informed as much as he can. We're already talking about agreeing a couple of pre-season events, for supporters, and to try and do things, and he wants to be around and about. We've had a conversation about potentially an open training session during pre-season. Clearly we've got to work on dates and that sort of stuff, but he's fully engaged, and fully understanding of the need to bring the club closer to supporters and the team itself. So yeah, it's really good. He's not falsely doing that. I think he genuinely understands it. I think probably, having been a captain at football clubs, I guess you get those added responsibilities, and you probably end up being closer to supporters or working closely with supporters, and it's great that we aren't having to sort of twist his arm to do these things. He's well up for it, and he's really offering his services to be as much help as he can.
Yeah, and I think it's worth noting as well, when he was here the other day, the Generation Z Youth Club was on in Addison's, and he went up and spoke to all the kids up in there, and I know a couple of the bigger Hereford fans there were kind of a little bit surprised and taken aback that the manager would kind of go and spend 10 minutes saying hello to them. So yeah, he's kind of really open and engaging.
Yeah, I enjoyed seeing him in his Hereford FC branded kit last week at the media day as well. We hadn't seen him in any of that before, and I was working away in the boardroom, and he suddenly wandered past the window, fully branded in his Hereford FC tracksuit and everything, and that was quite pleasing to say. He's talked about being a jack in the box on the touchline once the football's up and running, so I see him bouncing around in that tracksuit on that touchline, hopefully once the season commences.
Whilst you talk about kit and everything, it's probably worth saying that we've obviously the vote for the home shirt went through, and all of that's on order. All the training kits kind of the orders have been placed with Kappa, and hopefully we're anticipating the replicas coming in kind of the first week or two in July, so plenty of time ahead of the start of the season in August. So it's worth saying whilst you mention that, actually, that yeah, fingers crossed, we'll have replicas in the shop by mid-July at the latest, hopefully.
Yeah, and hopefully we can get those on sale for when we have the pre-season campaign starts and everything. We've got obviously provisional plans are being drawn up for our pre-season matches. Hopefully a couple of decent home games we're hoping to put on. We're just waiting on some confirmation and finalising a couple of things, but then we can hopefully get information about the programme out as soon as possible. Paul's been working hard on that with Nick, the football secretary. So yeah, as soon as we can get announcements out, and it'd be brilliant if we can then get the new shirts available and any new merchandise we've got available out, because I think there's some more merchandise coming on the website, Jay, isn't there? I think already from the Terrace, is that right?
Yeah, it's already on there, actually, quietly launched. There's going to be a bigger launch in the coming days, but fans probably have heard of the Terrace, or some definitely have, where you can go on and get personalised mugs and things. You order it off the Hereford website, but it's the Terrace that kind of deal with it all. So it's ideal for Father's Day coming up next month. You'll be able to get a Father's Day mug with your dad's name or whatever on. So there's some really good stuff that they put out on there. And the beauty of it from our point of view is there's no risk. We don't have to buy 200 mugs and hope they sell. The Terrace just send them out one at a time. So yeah, it's a really good little link up. They do lots of clubs from Nottingham Forest in the Premier League down to Banbury at our level. So it's hopefully a really good partnership. But I know that we launched it the last week softly without telling anyone. It just appeared on the shop website, and there's already been quite a few orders placed. So that's really, really good. Yeah. But there's also other things coming into the shop, scarves and bottle openers and coasters and things like that. So yeah, over the next kind of month or so, there should be a fair bit more in there.
No, I might have to try and leave a link to the club website lying around the place, shouldn't I, ahead of Father's Day? Maybe drop some hints to the rest of the family.
Subtle hints, yeah.
That'll be all right. I think just before we move away from season tickets, I know there's been just a few queries about half season tickets and season tickets for a reduced number of matches. I think it's important to say, we've obviously spoken about this previously, that it is something we will look at further down the line. But obviously from a business perspective, the sale of full season tickets is really important to us, and they make a huge difference to the budget moving forward and the cash flow and that type of thing. So obviously to put in shorter or half season tickets on sale too quickly you could end up shooting yourself in the foot. We understand that people aren't always able to commit to every home game, but we will, and later on in the season we will offer the shorter season tickets. But I think at this stage a very few clubs will be offering a short form season ticket at this stage, simply because the money from full season ticket sales is the priority at this point in time. So watch this space, months, 2 or 3 months into the season maybe for that type of option. But at the moment we'll be focusing on the full season tickets, because that, from a business perspective, that's the right thing to do, I think, and that's what you'll find most football clubs do, Jay, isn't it, Jay?
Yeah, 100%. And it's worth, we gave it a lot of thought in the board meeting when we were coming up with the prices about these 10, or mini kind of season tickets, and whether we could do them from the start of the season. But as you say, not only our budget, football club budgets up and down the country are set largely on season ticket sales. So, it's important to try and get those in the bag, if you like. And but yeah, we will certainly be looking later on in the season and what we can do with kind of mini season tickets, half season tickets, or whatever. So yeah.
And while we're talking about sort of off field matters, we've obviously had lots and lots of junior cup finals and things over the past couple of weeks. You've all been incredibly busy there, I think, by the sounds of things.
Yeah, no, it's been fantastic. So we've had the HFA senior finals, so the under 18 Giant Killers Cup, the women's cup final, and the men's senior cup final as well. So that was really good. But we've also had all the junior finals. I think the latest count is about 500 kids have had the chance to play a final on Edgar Street over the last 2 weeks. So that's been the boys' league, the girls' league, and also the schools now, which we've got the last 2 games this evening. So yeah, it's been fantastic to see all the kids, but also all the families as well coming through and up into the stand. And it's a nice little money earner for the local league as well, and the schools FA. We don't make money out of that. We make a little bit of money out of the bars, but it's more of a PR thing, making sure that the kids have a chance to kind of play their big final on Edgar Street, and you can see what it means to them as well, the winners and the losers. So yeah, it's been really good, really busy. I'll be glad when tonight ends at about 8:30 this evening, but yeah, it's been fantastic. And then the coming weeks, we've got under 18s here, we've got the women's team here, we've got the girls PDC all day Saturday, we have the boys PDC all day last Saturday, and of course we've got the inflatable weekend at the end of May as well. So plenty going on to keep ourselves busy before we might be able to have a week off in June, and you never know.
You keep trying to tell me there's no such thing as a closed season, Jamie, but I'm not sure whether I believe you or don't believe you. But on a serious note, that inflatable weekend over the bank holiday weekend at the end of the month should be really good, really exciting thing for lots of the kids kids and grown-ups. I can't quite know whether there's a ban on adults on the inflatables. It always
not allowed, sadly.
It's like a recipe for disaster to me. Adults on inflatables, but yeah, that's at the end of the month. There should be posters up all over town, and
yeah,
buy their tickets in advance and everything, so people can support that. That would be good, because hopefully that will be a decent earner for the club, which is why it's been put on over that weekend. What you haven't mentioned is there's a sponsors match, I think, isn't there, at the end of next week, and there's a big signing. I've heard.
The pinnacle, that is the sponsors game. Yeah. So the second season that we kind of run it, the Roger Parker Cup, he is obviously was the owner of Dawley, sadly passed away. So we're playing this tournament in his memory. Last year was really good. So it's kind of some of the key sponsors, just a 9v9 tournament, but obviously a staff have got a team in, which you know, the secret weapon is you this year, I think.
Yeah, I've started stretching already. 9 days out, so yeah, I can't imagine I'll be a lot of use a week on Saturday, but we'll kind of give it a go. I think my days have been more in box to box midfielder are probably over. I think I might just sort of sit at the back in a Franz Beckenbauer type style. Well, maybe Jan Molby would be a more accurate description for those people who would go back that far. But there we go. Hey, more serious matters. We obviously are aware that people have a few questions about the squad builder situation, and that is very much something we're talking about. And we're just looking to iron out a few of the details to maybe try and simplify it a little bit and make sure that the reward aspect of it is in place, maybe being a little bit less labour intensive than it was potentially going to be last year, to try and simplify it for everybody, really. But clearly that again could have a huge impact in terms of helping Paul with his budget. So we're going to be working on that, aren't we, with the hope of getting it launched as soon as possible. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, I think we set the target last year at 40,000, and I think in the end it's brought in £66,000, I think it is. So, you know, we're massively thankful for the fans who signed up last year. We do realise it wasn't perfect, and like I say, I think the key thing for us to try and do is to simplify it. You know, other clubs do various different models. I know Darlington and Chester probably do one similar to what we did last year. They do it very successfully, but they've been doing it for quite a number of years. So I think we just need to tinker with it, make sure that it's simple for us to manage, but also simple for fans to understand as well and get behind. But you know, if we could get anywhere near £60,000 again this year, it would be fantastic. And obviously every penny of that goes to Paul's budget, doesn't go anywhere else, straight to the playing budget.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're hugely grateful for any money that people are willing to help the club with, whether that's season tickets, whether that's donations, whether that's squad builder, whatever supporting events that we put on. And as I said, we're going to have hopefully put more and more events on, especially football and Hereford related events. Paul's very much up for taking part of those. Off the record, don't tell anybody, Jamie, but I've had a quiet word with Graham Turner. I think would be happy to help us with an event at some point moving forward, which would be really, really good. So clearly, anybody watching this, don't repeat what I've just said, because it's not like it's going to be on the internet, is it, or anything like that? So so hopefully we're going to do that moving forward. But yeah, we want to try and get everything going. I know the bars are getting a lot more use, aren't they, and the function rooms are getting a lot more use, and Adam's doing a great job in the background moving those forward, isn't he?
Yeah, we've had I think there was a wedding last weekend, there's a wedding this weekend, and a black tie event as well. I think Adam's had there's been 2 days in the last month and a bit where there's not been something here. We've got Ammonds and Electrical, for example, that are hiring it out this week, and they're repeat customers, so that they're fantastic. They come in and they use it to run some training courses upstairs. So there's lots of activities. Just if the bar's not open doesn't mean it's not being used or the rooms aren't being used. So yeah, credit to Adam and his staff. That they've done a fantastic job. Particularly with the schools fight, all the junior finals, they're here from 8 in the morning until 8, 9 at night, making sure the bars are open with food and drink for everyone. So yeah, they've done an incredible job.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, and we have said thank you to them, haven't we, to make sure they know they're appreciated and things, and hopefully keep them moving forward, because they are doing a great job. I think that's probably, I don't think we've got anything else to cover, Jay, from our extensive notes in our planning meeting, have we, or have I forgotten something?
That extensive planning meeting on the back of a fag packet that we spoke about 2 minutes before.
Yeah, absolutely right.
I think your words were that we'll just make it up as we go along.
That doesn't make us sound very professional, but there we go. That's not what happens at all. But yeah, no, hopefully we'll have another one of these catch up in a couple of weeks. We might be able to discuss maybe some signings and have a little bit of excitement about, some enthusiasm about some signings, which is good. Key point for me is you've told me to remind people that season ticket sales are Monday, Wednesday and Friday, both face-to-face and on the phone. But obviously the auto renewals can still be done via email, so people can try their very best to stick to those days. It's incredibly helpful for all the office staff. And yeah, I hope the update from me and Dee has been useful to everybody, and we'll try and again do it in the near future, I reckon.